It doesn't happen random. Nothing is random.
Nothing.
I've learned about nature is nothing is random.
Nothing at all. Simply, you know it.
Right.
There is a
So,
design. There is a design in everything. Come on.
right, right. We designed the internet, all of those different things. And it's just so crazy how the internet is likened to most of, the how our brain is wired. You understand what I'm
Hmm.
saying? It's
Hmm.
how the universe, there we go with the triple aspect of things. The internet, the brain wiring, and the
Yeah.
universe and the cosmos all have
Yes.
the same type of wiring.
Yes.
You understand? And they
Yes.
all work on the electromagnetic spectrum. So
Six, six protons, six neutrons, six electrons.
that's the carbon. That's the carbon.
Yeah.
You know? So that's the
Mm.
carbon. But I've had many debates about carbon and melanin and things like that. I can't go down that road yet.
Most deaf,
But
most deaf.
carbon and melanin are two completely
Oh,
different things.
yes, we know this.
Carbon is a part of melanin
Mhm.
because melanin is a complex molecule that's made up of carbon and nitrogen and all of these different elements, But I've seen many of my people say, we are carbon. No,
Ca-
we're not carbon.
carbon base. There is a carbon
Right,
base to all life
right,
forms. So yeah, we can't
right,
deny that. But it's
right,
some of these internet, these wiki wizards, Wikipedia wizards and
right.
stuff. I mean, there's nothing wrong with you. And I love to say this because there's nothing wrong with utilizing wiki as a quick reference tool, but you cannot weigh all of your information and all of that based upon, yeah, I looked on Wikipedia and I've seen you've seen it as well. Presentations and people are using wiki.
Yeah, like you just said, there's nothing wrong with a quick reference.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? But when you want to base your whole research on it, that's when you have a problem. You got to be
problematic.
able to give different sources as well. You
Yes.
understand what I'm saying? One source cannot validate your information. That's I forgot what it's called in debating.
Confirmation biased.
Whoa, there you go. Confirmation bias. Because you're only picking one source to validate whatever it is that you're. I've seen a lot of Christians and Bible people do that. Only
Yes.
picking one source in order to
Once.
validate that one
Mm.
point.
And,
Come on.
and and I think unfortunately, I guess, because that's how we're wired as humanity, mankind, and the other beings that are on this plane of existence,
Right.
we're almost designed, unless you train yourself out of that notion of this is what I've been raised and programmed into. This is
Hmm.
my worldview. How do I validate my worldview? By picking
Right.
this information, taking that information, and putting that together in a logical sequence and
That's a
presenting
fact.
it. There we go.
No, that's a fact. You're right. You gotta use many different um sources, like I told you before, because if you don't use many different sources, or let's just say you might be the only one that's thinking the way that you are,
Mm.
you got to be able to put together an example in order for people to understand and for it to make sense. So in
Yes.
my science we use experience, evidence, and also reasoning, right? So evidence is when you use the sources. Experience would be your own personal account, and reasoning would be how can I put this particular thing together to make it make sense? You understand?
Mm.
Just like with the AI situation I just brought up. I literally thought about that a split second right after you thought, because I didn't know you were going to ask that question.
Yes.
So literally in my brain, I had to use reasoning to say, okay, what can I give that can be likened to that?
Mm.
Right. So in my brain, I'm piecing together, he's asking a question about what would liken to us using information from the past in order to predicate the future. And the thing that came to me was like, hold up, AI uses things from the past or the present from what you're programming it in order
Yes.
for it to do machine learning. And the
Hmm.
only way it can do that is if you're programming in a certain sequence. So yeah,
Yes.
man. So that's how that works.
Fedax. Fedax. So
I
okay.
know you want to get into.
Well, no, no, no. I'm going somewhere else now, Sibin, before we
Oh,
get
okay,
into the
let's
orange
do it.
pepper.
Let's do it.
I'm
Let's
going
do it.
somewhere else. So we're on the AI thing, man. We're on the AI thing. This will slide back into the orange man himself,
Yeah.
Trumpavelli.
Yeah.
We
Mhm.
have on the spectrum, as most people are calling him, allegedly richest man in the world in the name of Elon Musk, South
Oh,
African, father, mother, emerald and diamond mine riches that he came from.
they got a lot of
Yeah,
money.
they got a lot of money. Grew up in the South, the apartheid era.
That man blew through hundreds of millions and still was able to come back and
Come
do
on.
his
Come on, Sip. This is what the CNN and the damn Fox News and all the rest of these BBC. Yes, Elon Musk, he's the richest man and he's got this stupid Cybertruck that looks absolutely awful and will kill people if they get hit by that damn monstrosity. Okay. They're not saying that, oh, well, your tax-paying dollars, the money that you pay, you work hard for, and you're taxed at point of employment, and then you purchase products, and then you're taxed again. That money is going to go to Elon Musk. It's going straight to Elon Musk because we want to sell you electric cars.
hmm
And he's making all this money. And then I guess you say he blew through how many millions with all these failed businesses? He's obsessed with X. Do you remember the old failed X company that he had, which no one seems to talk about? And then he seems to, oh, PayPal, let's buy into that. Makes a ton of money himself, and then becomes this name and buys these little cars and stuff. And it's and oh, Tesla. Oh, you need a little bit of cash injection, do you? Let me go speak to some other people because I'm not going to use my own money. Let me go speak to some of my other beneficiaries. Yeah, I've got this idea, electric car, it's really cool and blah, blah, blah. Failed at that with that Roadster thing. It was disgusting. It was built horribly. The owners, come on, I'm going to tell the whole story. If we're going to tell it, we're going to tell it. And he was still, they were still putting him up there. They were still putting up. There wasn't a subsidizing him too much at that point. But then he turned the corner with the new four door, and everyone was like, and it looks okay. It does look okay. I'm not gonna.
I like the Tesla car. I was
Yes,
actually thinking about maybe one day. I don't know, not right now. Maybe one day, but there's a lot of things I've heard about the Tesla if the government does decide to you
exactly.
know, come after people, they could drive you to the precinct if they want. Your car just shut down.
But sibling, I mean, at this precise moment, I will go there since you've highlighted that because it's an excellent point. With
Mhm.
Tesla being with Elon Musk being so connected now, specifically with the government as well, he's part of this Doge thing, which is I'm
Yeah.
sure there's a Bitcoin, isn't there a coin, a cryptocurrency called
Yeah,
Doge?
Dogecoin,
Yeah, right. It's quite synchronistic of sorts, I would say. Yeah. So he's
that is the direction that the world is heading in. And listen, man, it's a double-edged sword for me. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I say that is because I don't want anyone to quote unquote miss their blessings because they're not jumping on the train,
yes,
right? But the train is going that direction, right? Which
yes.
happens to be cryptocurrency, right? I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I've invested in cryptocurrency. Reason being is because this was years ago. I think I was having a conversation with Tar about Bitcoin. I'm like, yo, you think we, should get into this or whatever the case may be? And the name crypto itself, the crypt coming from literally the grave,
Yes.
which means death.
Yes.
And basically, it's the death of what we're seeing
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that crypto, right, made us say to ourselves, nah, we're not gonna go that direction. I was ready to buy some Bitcoin. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was ready to be like, yo, listen, let me go in there and buy. But once we had that discussion, I'm like, forget this Bitcoin. This is when Bitcoin was around a few dollars. You understand what I'm saying? We're talking about well over maybe 12, 13 years ago. This is when I was having this discussion
Yeah.
because
Yeah. Yeah.
it first came out. And they was like, yeah, digital money. I'm like, this don't even sound right. Digital money. But the reason why I will quote unquote regret it is because let's just say I'd have bought 100 Bitcoin back then. 100 Bitcoin at $100,000 now is $10 million. I will be able to go to Africa and build the biggest town that I want. You understand?
Wakanda, quote unquote.
Right. You understand what I'm saying? So reason why I say it's a double-edged sword is because we are headed towards slavery
Mm.
with this digital currency, right? Because they'll be able to monitor everything that you're buying, everything that you're selling using this digital currency. And on top of that, the the they can shut down your bank account.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Say, for instance, you look into just, you don't agree with what the government is saying,
yeah,
right? And they like now they got the autonomy to say, yo, well, oh, we don't like what the loot is doing.
yeah,
Two pushes of a button, boom, your
yeah.
account is
Hey, let's
now.
go one.
You
Let's,
don't got no fiat currency, you don't got no gold or anything like that, and now you're
Mm.
shut down.
Let's
So
go one step further before you continue. Sorry, I've got to jump in here, sibling. I
yeah,
got
yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No problem, no problem.
Listen. So let's go one step further than that. You're not
Uh-huh,
talking, Anu ain't talking crazy on the government. Anu's
uh-huh.
making his money, boss. Anu's making his money.
I'm only saying that because I don't want anybody to miss their blessings
No, no, no,
if they
no, no.
have
I
another
get it.
plan. They might have
Yes.
another plan, like, hey, listen, once I make this money, make a mad dash and get off the grid.
Yes. Listen, no. What you're saying is 100%. Where I'm going with this one is you're not talking crazy. You're making your sneakers, you're doing your transactions. You go to
Right.
your local you go to your local superstore, your
Uh-huh.
box store to get some food. And you put all your greens, mainly 60% of your assortment is going to be vegetables, fruits, and all the rest of it, hard vegetables and all that there, yeah? And you might have a little fish on there, a little salmon, maybe a little couple snappers on there, and they're checking it. They're going bing, 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 and you put you scan whatever the hell you tap your phone or whatever, and it says yes, $200, yes. That fish and that snapper, no, and you can't buy that. Sorry, mate. You can have those vegetables. You can replace that. Here's your alternative replacement. It's these mealworms. We got mealworms for you. That's going to be your source of protein. You're not having no snapper. You ain't going back to the Caribbean vibe. None of that business. You're not having no salmon either. You're going to have mealworms or crickets. £2 or £3. Which one do you want?
Wow. I agree. Listen, I'm not opposed to anything that you're saying. I actually agree with what you're saying. And remember, I just told you we're headed towards slavery
Mhm,
in a new form,
mhm,
rather,
mm.
right?
A very
Where they're able to monitor every single thing that you're doing. You understand what
yes.
I'm saying? And
Yes.
just to segue into Mr. Orange Man real quick,
Hmm.
right? This is why he's minimizing the government, right? He's showing you on a micro scale what's happening with the government,
Hmm.
right? So he's firing all these workers, he's firing all these people. Why? Because now you're able to minimize and see exactly where these particular issues are happening. On one end, I'm happy that he's finding a lot of this fraud that's taking place. $2 million for condoms in whatever country, $4 million for balloon inhaling,
Yeah.
$10 million for dance rehearsal for people in Bangladesh. And you know what I'm saying? So a lot of the funds are being misused or utilized in ways that people are not taxpayers didn't sign up for. You understand? While we are still suffering and having inflation in the
Yes.
American economy.
Hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not going to sit here and say everything that Mr. Orange Man is doing is bad. I actually think it's really good what he's doing, some of the things. You understand? It might seem like almost like I'm a Republican. We're like, yeah, he got rid of the abortion. I love that. Oh, the man got rid of the whole transgender thing. Oh man, he even got rid of this is another topic I want to tackle before we move on to another
Yes.
topic. He got rid of the whole DEI thing. And a
Okay.
bunch of, you
Come
remember
on.
that? And a bunch of black people was like, "Oh my goodness, he trying to get rid of the black people." Let me tell you something. Black people are number 7 on the list when it comes to DEI. Guess who the first people on the list when it comes to DEI hires? Who are they?
White women.
White women.
Make that make
So,
sense, people.
Do we see white women out there screaming and crying about DEI? No. The face of DEI happens to be black people. But yet, the first one on that list is white women. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Then you got the Indian in there somewhere.
Hmm.
Then you got the disabled. Then you got it's a plethora of people before you even get the black folk. But guess who's the face of DEI?
Yeah. Yes, us. Original folk. Yeah, come on.
You understand what I'm saying? So my thing is, I'm glad that Trump put that on Matumbo, swatted that out the way. He got rid of that. You know, he got rid of a lot of policies that made absolutely no sense. A lot of the
Men,
money
men perform
in women's
competing.
sports, men performing in women's sports. So it may seem like I'm a Republican, you know what I'm saying? Because 90% of what he's doing, I agree with. 90%.
Mhm.
90%. The other 10%, look, just yesterday, the man honored a bunch of black people in the Black History Month in the White House. I don't know if you remember in the beginning of the month, this black people claimed that Trump got rid of Black History Month. Because remember, he was getting rid of DEI, and part of DEI happened to be Black History. Trump did no such thing.
I
As
didn't hear that, sibling. I'm glad you bring it. I didn't know that.
as a matter of fact, the man honored a lot of he's creating a garden, right? A garden of statues, right? So he got Rosa Parks, Muhammad Ali. He got even got what you call it, the late great Kobe Bryant in there too.
Wonder.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't really rock with Kobe like that because he married out. See,
We
other
know.
discussion. Married outside his race. I'm not with the whole race mixing and stuff like that. That has nothing to do with racism, but more or less to do with us coming together again with each other.
Hmm.
But that's besides the point. The point is that he's honoring a lot of black folk, that passed on, and some poets, some black poets, and he just gave the Medal of Honor to Tiger Woods, who don't really consider himself black. But the point
Which
is,
is odd. I know that's a bit odd doing that when you, but yeah.
right? But Trump is honoring a lot of black folk, and they like, ah, man, some black folk don't like the fact that he's doing that. But I got to give the man credit where the credit is due. Even if Jackie Robinson, he's also honoring Jackie Robinson as well. So
Nice.
yeah, a lot of black athletes and musicians and artists he is honoring and putting them in that particular garden. So for them to say that he got rid of Black History Month, nowhere close to getting rid of Black History Month. He gave a nice speech dedicated just to Black Americans. So I got to give the man credit where the credit is due.
Do you think, I mean, because from what I'm seeing, especially of late, the last I don't know what, 6 to 8 months, maybe even up to a year, I'm seeing a lot of co-opted paid agents, whether it's overtly or covertly, who are coming out saying the most outlandish, crazy stuff. And I'm like, that doesn't even make any sense. But then it gets posted and reshared, and other people repeat the same garbage, and you're like, this is blatantly false information.
What Trump was saying or what others were
No,
saying?
just in general, just like the narrative of like these so-called influence and just people online, just something will come out. Like I'll bring it locally.
Right.
So over the weekend there was a on obviously knife crime is crazy in the UK, especially in Birmingham. So
Yeah,
or
but that means you guys are not allowed to have guns, though, right?
yeah, it's no guns, but
So the
it's
knife, yeah, the knife crime is up. Okay.
crazy,
I watch
crazy.
a lot of, not the segue. I watch a lot of English gangster movies or gangster series on Netflix, like Top Boy.
On the top, yes.
I
Everybody,
watched
everybody.
Top Boy. I saw another one the other day. It's like a superhero one.
Yeah, Supercell.
Supercell. Yeah, I watched that one too.
Yes.
So
Yes.
not to cut your wisdom, but
Yes.
they use a lot of knife, and I'm like, man, There's a lot of your knife. You got to use a knife on somebody. You got to be really you got to be really brave to stick a knife into someone.
Ye- Yes and no. Yes and no. With your mentality, I understand what you're saying, but what's happening here? These little youths aren't brave. They're cowards, and
Really.
they've never been punched in the face. They've never had
Mm,
they've never had a fist fight. So based
right,
upon that, they pull out these long samurai swords and the monster. So we're not just talking about yeah, yeah. This is the reality of it. Machetes and meter like machetes like we use back home. They were
wow,
carrying these things around. The slightest thing, rather than punching a man up or having a fight as we used to do
right,
back in the day, they're
right,
pulling these things out, having almost sword fights in the streets, a sibling. Yeah, this is the weird. Yeah, man, crazy in the UK, sibling. It is absolutely crazy what's going
wow,
on in here. I feel
wow.
sorry for the youth that are coming up in this thing that's going on because, like a lot of them are carrying things just because everybody else is. Because
Right.
if I ain't got one, like in America, I better be caught with one than without one.
Without right.
It's a sad kind of way to look, but look, we're not in the wilderness of North America. We're in the
Right,
brains
right,
of the
right.
beast. There's no need for this shit. It's
But
senseless, mindless. But anyway, listen. Back to what I'm saying in regards to the what I can see. So
right.
a youth was stabbed on Friday night. Then there's all these reports on Twitter, that filthy platform Twitter/X, of the hospital that he went to overrun with people attacking. This is never heard of anything like this in my life. Never of nothing, nothing like this has ever happened in the UK. 30 to 40 men or teenagers, assailants, entered this hospital and were searching for this youth, attacking patients and all this. This was being shared around.
Searching,
Oh,
searching for him to beat him up more.
I guess to end his life potentially. This is what was purported, and hundreds of people were reporting this. And I start looking and I'm searching online, thinking if this obviously, it's terrible, obviously, that the teenager got, stabbed, but people going into the hospital, this doesn't make any sense. So I'm looking, I'm cross-referencing, I'm looking, I'm hearing about the boy getting stabbed, but I'm not hearing anything about the hospital being attacked. Come Monday, it's all in the news. It's AI generated video footage that they've put up on the damn social media. All the stories were basically fake. Reason being is because we've got immigrants, an immigration problem that's being hyped up by paid agents. These paid agents are then saying, yeah, it's these immigrants. They're in Birmingham causing a muck. Look, they're attacking people in hospitals now. And then these knuckle draggers and some uneducated white folk are
Mhm.
seeing that and thinking, flipping out, yeah, this country's going down the shithole, as they say over here. Repost it. This is terrible. What are we gonna do? So I'm
Wow.
seeing this happen on a local level, and then I'm seeing it nationally throughout the world. These little
So
things,
what
and
is, so what is the true story then?
he got stabbed, and that was it. No one attacked the hospital.
Nobody.
Nobody.
So why would they? Oh, they're creating
They're
a
creating a fear and a hype that these immigrants are attacking hospitals, lawless, doing a madness. Hey, Mr. Prime Minister, you need to do something about these immigrants. If you don't, we're going to do something about it. Like a couple months back, there was rioting. These white folk were rioting in Stockport and mashing up places and robbing Greg's and bakeries, robbing like a Payless store for shoes and all that in the name of a tragic event that happened because again, it was riled up by people putting false information on the internet, on Elon Musk's
y'all.
filthy platform.
So y'all are having the same issue that we had as far as immigrants is concerned.
Create exactly the same, exactly the same, exactly the same. It's just
Mm.
that you've got the border, it's the Mexicans and obviously the Chinese are coming. Oh, everyone's coming over, but through the southern border.
Yeah.
Whereas we've got everybody. We've got all of the different African nations coming over. We've got Eastern Europe. We've got Afghanis. We've got everybody
It's
is
coming into
coming.
to England.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Wow. And
Lost.
and I guess because Trump did what he's doing, I guess now they're creating a diversion for the
Exact.
same thing. And yeah,
Yes.
wow.
So they're trying to do the same kind of dichotomy where we've got like so it's weird how they're doing it this way.
But is it let's just say for instance, you see like in America, we did have huge issue with it because the quote unquote the Democratic Party was giving them a lot of the taxpayers' money. You understand? Do you guys have that
Same thing.
same?
Exactly the same thing. Exactly. So let me paint the scenario, sibling, and this is absolutely it hurts my heart. It hurts my heart that my grandparents and other people came over here
Mhm.
on invitation and was abused, spat at, had to do the most menial jobs. They wasn't given a house. They just say, oh, hey, West Indian guys and girls, come over here, man. We got houses for you. Here you go. We're gonna give you 20 bob a week. You can buy some milk and no. We came in with the suitcases and we had
Right,
to we had to make it.
right,
Where do I stop for your work? Can I get a job? Yo,
right.
knock here. No, no, no Irish, no blacks. No, sorry, no dogs, no blacks. That's
Wow.
that's what we were greeted over here. But today it's a new day, Anut. It's a new day.
Right. It
Because
is.
because I can come over here on a boat. I can pay some smuggler 2 grand or whatever the hell it is to come over here on a boat from Spain via flipping Sierra Leone, land on the something, throw my passport away in the sea, and say, there you go. To pick him up, take him to a nice little place, and
Right.
process him. Why are you here? Why are you here, Abdul? Yeah, well, political prisoner, they're oppressing me over there, you know what I mean? It's crazy. I need asylum. Okay.
Right.
Well, it's gonna take 16 weeks to process, yeah? We've got a beautiful 5-star hotel. We've kicked them all out, Anut. We've kicked them all out. We're paying the hotel double the price, triple the price, and we're gonna put those in there. They're gonna have a indoor tennis pool, an indoor tennis court, indoor heated saunas, plunge pools, and we're gonna do the thing. And they're all gonna be there, and you taxpayers, you're gonna pay for it. You're gonna love it. So there is a problem. There's a raw problem, but
The
let's
huge
let's talk, let's talk about the before you come in, sibling. Let's talk about the humanity side. The USA and England are bombing and destabilizing this plane of existence. All these so-called developing countries where there's natural resources. So when you've got the state of Israel that funded, by America and by us, and we're giving them weapons as well, sibling. They've destroyed Gaza. Those people, a lot of them over here, a lot of them are coming, and it's not their family sibling because look, some of the families are coming over here. Come, of course. It's
hmm
a dangerous trip to make, though, isn't it? So
hmm
when our parents moved over, we didn't come as a family.
hmm
More time, it's the man went first, made his way. Yo,
Yep.
come, bring the children. I got a
Uh,
house now. Yeah.
that's how I got to America. My grandfather came here first. Then he brought my mother and me and my mother came at the same time because my grandfather came first, and then he brought me and my mom, and that's how I got to America. From Guyana. For those that
Mm,
want to know, I'm originally from Guyana. So, but back to what you were saying about America and Israel, but we can't even talk about America and Israel unless we talk about what's going on in the Congo. You
oh
know,
my God, with the cobalt, come on.
yeah, so the Congo is I want to only speak about my people. I'm very sympathetic to those in Palestine,
Mhm.
but unfortunately, I have to be a little bit more sympathetic to those in the Congo. Reason being is because Elon Musk, a lot of his cars are made from the minerals in the Congo.
Come on.
That metal that he's using for the Tesla and things like
Mm,
that metal that we're using for these iPhones and things like that,
yeah.
those these are the things that are used from in the Congo. and they are raping and pillaging our homeland country. So my thing is that we this is where now it comes in where I don't agree with Trump or any political party that's in there. Why?
Yeah.
Because they're all tied and they're all in bed with Israel.
Hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? They
APAC.
billions and billions and billions of dollars to Israel. They give billions and billions of dollars to Ukraine,
Yeah.
but yet you don't see Ukrainians being shipped back to Ukraine. You don't see Israel Jews being shipped back to Israel. But yet we see Haitians being sent back. We see Africans being sent back. We see Mexicans being sent back. We see people from all over the globe,
Yeah.
except for the Ukrainians and the Israelis
Yeah.
who are seeking asylum,
Yeah.
they're still here.
Yeah.
You understand? So this is where I have the huge problem. When I told you I agree with 90 to 10% of what Trump is doing,
Hmm.
that 10% is really like another 90%, right? Because then that
The
10% is,
value of it.
yeah, the value of it overpowers the 90% that I agree with him.
Mm.
So though I agree with the gay stuff, the this, the whatever they got going on,
Hmm.
this 10%, right,
Mm.
is so large that it outweighs that 90%.
Facts.
Because guess what? It's dealing with my people
Mm.
and how and the inhumane treatments that's taking place.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So nothing that this administration does will make me forget those things that's being done. Elon Musk too. Elon Musk is from South Africa. Well, no. I can't say Elon Musk is from South Africa. Why? Because Elon Musk, his ancestors came from Europe and then they migrated to South Africa around the time that South Africans was trying to steal land
Yeah.
from the Africans that were there. So what we're seeing now is South Africans fight back to take back that land, and then Elon Musk is telling Trump, "Hey,
Yeah.
listen, we got a place for them here in America, or wherever the case may be." And you know, Trump is threatening not to give them funding and this, that, and the third. But we got to stop depending on the funding that they're giving us. We have to stop that. You understand what I'm saying? We have enough natural resources in which we could. I mean, I saw a couple of countries kick the French out. I'm not too
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Burkina Faso kicked the
Yes.
French out. You got a couple of countries that kicked the French out.
Mm.
Of course, there's going to be some repercussions for doing that.
There will be, and it's going to take a long time. And it's going to, because the IMF and the World Bank, they tied the Caribbean and Africa into knots. And it's going to take a couple generations. As you say, we're rich with a lot of skilled labor, number one, and natural resources, and that ingenuity, that drive in our heart and in our mind to do something and to create something better. But those nuts, and also the powers that be in our islands and countries, continents, states, nations, a lot of them, 70 plus, I'm being generous, have that colonial mind still installed into them where it's not about the people. Me there and that is something now, how much are we get? Yeah. That's
Hmm.
what it's on rather than the greater good. Like, yo, no, I want my statue to be there to know, say, when I came in to be prime minister for those 4 years that I was in this year, yo, Noble was doing his thing, boss. He wasn't trying to take money from this person. He was trying to cut the debt down to make us more independent, to clean up the roads, to give people opportunity, give people jobs, put the fear of the devil into these people who want to commit crimes to make sure that the crime goes down, right?
That's a fact. That's a fact. So yeah, man, it's so when we talk about Israel and we talk about the Gaza and things like that, I always got to shift the attention to what's really going on in Africa, man.
Mhm.
It's like when the world wants us to know what Hitler did, but they don't know what's the guy
King
that
Leopold.
Leopold killed 15 million Africans,
Come on.
cut off their hands and
Yes.
and put it as chocolate.
Yes. Come on.
You understand what I'm saying? So I
Mm.
can't forget one. I can't remember one without remembering the other.
The
Yeah.
Namibia, I can never pronounce Namibia.
Namibia. Yeah,
Yeah,
Namibia.
the Holocaust that they did there and they starved all of those Africans. Huh? These people, listen.
The
i-
whole of what's the island called again? Is the island off the coast of Africa. What is that island called again? Oh man.
Where
Tanzania.
oh, Shema.
Remember, they wiped out that whole
Oh,
population. A whole population of people wiped out. So when we talk about white
no,
on
no, 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 no. Australia, that is.
no, oh
Tasman.
no, Tanzania. Remember, Tanzania is off the coast of Africa.
Oh shit, yes, what am I talking about? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. But
yeah.
if you want to talk about Australia, Australia was fully black.
Yeah.
That was a continent that was fully black until
Mm,
they came and they colonized it.
mm,
So, regardless of how we look at the spectrum of things, I listen. I'm very sympathetic to those that are in Gaza and things of that nature. And for those that are, I guess, Russia and Ukraine, I guess I'm sympathetic. I don't know.
mm.
But
But, that's a good point to stick on there for the moment because we can see total devastation in regards to those they got melanin in them, those poor little Palestinian little children, mothers, fathers, and all that kind of stuff.
and there's black folk there too.
Exactly, sibling. This is the point, right? That we can visually see that something's happening there, right?
Right.
When they've been showing us all of this stuff for the past how many years with this
Mhm.
alleged, this propaganded, clearly, I don't know, they've reported deaths. Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Right.
Where's the blown up buildings? Where's the X, that filthy platform X, showing all of these dead bodies of the Ukrainians and stuff? And but
I don't see it.
I don't see none of that. I don't see them riding around on tanks, boom, boom, and then people fled in. That's not Iraq. Do you remember the shock and awe that they showed us constantly, sibling?
Mhm.
That was
Mhm.
war.
Yep. Yep. So these are things that people need to see, but it's not being shown, like you said. Where are they showing it?
Mm.
What is it really happening? How do we
That's
know it's taking place?
That's what I'm questioning. Is it taking place or is this another? Is this like NASA, never a straight answer, where the again taxpayers' money is funding this thing to allegedly send people out of this plane of
Sides.
existence?
Both sides too. They funding both sides of the war.
Mm.
You understand? Remember when with the bankers, that's what the bankers used to do, the Rothschild.
Yes,
They used
indeed.
to fund both sides of the war. You
Yes.
understand what I'm saying? When they fund both sides of the war, they can win.
Hmm. Hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So what we're witnessing is something like that playing out. And I've heard that Putin and Trump has this little underlying deal, like where they're like, okay, y'all take half of Ukraine, we'll take the other half of Ukraine. So they're gonna split it like the proverbial baby in the Bible. In the Bible,
Yes.
and tell who can have the baby.
Mm.
Okay, and then I think forgot who it was said we're gonna just cut the baby in
In
half.
half.
You take
Yes.
one half, and the other one take another
Mm.
half. This is what we're watching. We're watching the proverbial baby being split in half. And Ukraine got a lot of natural resources too.
The breadbasket of Europe.
hmm So they got a lot of natural resources. So Trump wants to get his hand in there. But people need to understand that about Trump. Trump is a
He's a
businessman.
businessman, a corporate. Come on, Sim. And what else does Ukraine have?
He's not an empath. Trump is not an empath at all. Empath would mean that he will, oh my goodness, let's give them restore their land. This man talking about building a hotel on the Gaza Strip. You
We
remember he
we
said
can level it. We can level it. We can make it look real nice.
real nice.
Real
That's spoken
nice.
like a true colonizer. That's what the colonizer does. Oh, we can come on, man. We can make it real nice. The same way they've done to every neighborhood that I've ever lived in when I'm in New York. Man, you should see New York. The hood don't get me wrong, the hood was terrible.
Yeah.
When you come to
Yeah.
Brooklyn and stuff like that, we had, Flatbush,
Yes.
I spent a lot of my time.
Mm.
They done changes.
Gentrified the hell out of that sibling.
I can't even call it gentrified. This is like I don't even know. They squeeze the juice. I don't know if you ever listened to the Locks album. He's like, I'm squeezing the juice out the linen.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's almost like when you squeeze the juice and now your hands is bleeding. Now we got
Yes. Come on.
serious. Rent used to be. Now I'm thankful that I was able to get a property a little while back, but
Oh, praise the Most High.
right the but the rent people used to pay
I
$1,000, you know, 15 years ago. Now it's 35, $4,000, almost three,
Yeah.
four times of what they was
Yes.
before.
Yes.
So, like I said, these people are like the viruses of the planet.
Mutants.
Right.
Mutants, man. Because listen, I've been saying to the siblings for a long time, look, I know, and I've got family right there, still there in Brooklyn, yeah,
Oh,
Manhattan,
wow.
in Queens,
Nice.
um, where else? Where else in the tri-states? I got siblings everywhere over that. Then I keep on saying to them, yo, move, man. Go down south or something and get a
Yeah.
house. Get a
Yeah.
house and some land around it and just be free of the just rush out here in the let me go to the like when's the last time sibling you cooked food for yourself? No, this isn't at you. I'm saying to my siblings, them like, yo, when's that? Yeah, and they're like, yeah, no, boy, it's with the hours I'm working, it's easier to. And I said, I know. I speak to my siblings on the West Coast. I speak to them on the East. I speak to them down South. It's the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah, it's getting worse and worse, man. And I don't know what the end ball game is gonna be as far as what we're gonna do, because we gotta do something as a people to circumvent what's going on. We gotta create Black Wall Street again. That has to happen.
Mm.
But it has to be instead of Black Wall Street, it has to be global Black Wall
Yes.
Street. You
Yes.
understand? Where we can all unite. And I think it's gonna happen. I don't know, I want to be part of that team to put it together.
Hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? If the will of nature would allow me to, be a part of that team, or even head the team to say, yo, listen, we got to make this can't be just an American thing. This can't be just a UK thing. This can't just be an African thing.
Yeah.
It has to be a global thing. And we
Hmm.
got to sit down and figure out how we're gonna combat what's going on.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? It has to go to that level, because if it continuously keeps being the way it is now, our children is gonna be right back in those chains.
Come on.
You understand what I'm saying? So
Mm.
that's why I'm thankful that, people like yourself and myself, can be out here to talk the good talk. But
Yes.
also at the end of it, we gotta also fight the good fight as well.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
and
Back
doing
it up.
my part spiritually, like I said before, spiritually, I'm trying to reverse the symbols on the clothing, trying to give us a new calendar